Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here today and to welcome you back to our session. And it is a journey from ineffective and fruitful revision to effective and fruitful revision. Last time we had three videos which we were discussing the same, and we talked about why revision fails. I don't know if you really remember well why revision fails. Today, I want us to go forward and look at something which is very important for every parent, for every teacher, and for every learner. I request that you may walk with me till the end of the session. In the Bible, you find that time has been so much emphasized. For instance, in Ecclesiastes, we are told that there is a time for everything. Yeah, there is a time for everything. Chapter 3, verse 1 of Ecclesiastes will tell us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. So, even when you look at the story of creation, it unfolds a certain rhythm where day by day God creates with purpose and rest. God didn't rush. This is something He could have done just in one day and all is done, but it took 70 days. Well planned. He paused. He saw that everything He made was God. This gives the story of creation a certain rhythm which is admirable to each and every one of us. And I would say that when we are talking about revision, the same rhythm is required, because when we're talking about revision without rhythm, then it's like music without melody. It will be number one, chaotic, number two, tiring, and number three, forgettable. We want revision which is not chaotic. We want revision which is not tiring. And we want revision which is unforgettable. But when there is no structure, when there is no rhythm in your revision, then you find that everything is amiss. Nothing is in order. Nothing is in its right point. So it is a very good thing if we consider, understand how revision is supposed to be, how we're supposed to put everything in its right place and in its right time. So these are three things: chaotic, tiring, and forgettable. Again, I repeat: chaotic, tiring, and forgettable. We need to avoid this. You come and realize that most of the learners, when they're doing the revision, they do it in bursts of panic. They are driven by fear, not by strategy. They sit down, actually with the good intentions to revise. They open their books, and then they dive into whatever feels urgent. Then, without a plan, they drift. They overwork on some subjects, they neglect other subjects, and even they burn out even before the exam arrives. This is a problem which is facing most of the learners. There is something we must accept that, and we must acknowledge that this is what is happening. And we start a journey, we walk in this journey together so that we may find a solution to these things, so that learners may be guided, so that we may know what exactly is the right thing to do and how good can we do it. Now, you see, chaotic, tiring, forgettable. Don't forget this: chaotic, tiring, unforgettable. This is the kind of revision that many learners are doing. They run to what they feel urgent. They are driven by anxiety, by fear, not by strategy. They don't have a plan. They are just drifting towards, and they even digress, not what they were purposing to do, but then something different, following the emotions. So I want us to take time here to consider something we call a revision calendar. It is important to have a revision calendar, and we're going to analyze how important it is for you to have a revision calendar. It is not something which you should say that it is an option. No, it is not an option. I believe that everyone should have a revision calendar. You'll come to realize this is not just a timetable. Actually, it is what gives a rhythm to your revision. It is a sacred structure for yourself. It is actually a map that will guide your energy, where to focus on and how to grow. So, this is very important. We ought all to understand about the revision calendar. We all ought to know how to make a good revision calendar. And this we can only do if we get deeply to understand the importance of what a revision calendar is. And I wish today that you had the understanding of this we are calling a revision calendar. Actually, it will tell you of what to revise, it will tell you when to revise it, and how to balance intensity with rest. Revision calendar will transform your journey of revision. It will not be any more a burden, but rather a journey. And you will have peace, pleasure walking in this path and exploring in terms of revision. So, how important and why is a revision calendar important? Because it helps you get rid of confusion, get rid of forgetful revision. Everything you study, forget. And number three, it brings order. No confusion, no getting tired, no, your zeal is retained to the end, even to the time of exam. I don't know if my mind is well ordered, but you will receive what I have in the way I'm going to dispense it. I may not follow good order, but I believe I will try to be organized in a way that will help you and that will help even the smallest kids to understand. I'm very much surprised to understand that actually the roughly 80% of learners do not plan. 80% of learners do not plan. So we have to understand what is this making learners not to plan, because it is actually what is making us not to plan. The hardest truth to hear for most students is that they don't use revision calendars. Yeah, most of them rely on three things. Number one, they rely on memory, what they can remember that they have to do. Number two, they rely on mood, what they feel that they have to do. Number three, they rely on pressure. Do you get it well? Memory, mood, pressure. They revise what they feel behind on. They revise what the teacher lastly emphasized. Then these will create imbalance, where you'll find that, as we've just mentioned, some subjects will get too much attention while other subjects are ignored, even to an extent that some are completely ignored. I want you to understand that most of the learners happen to be polarized when it comes to subjects. They don't just love everything. And that is how we are. Personally, I'm polarized when it comes to knowledge. When it comes to acquisition, there are some things that I cannot acquire knowledge in. I try, but it's quite hard. And what helps me is what can help you, is a calendar, is a planner on how to do it. This is what you need to have. Even you teachers, even parents, you'll realize that you have been polarized when it comes to knowledge. And nobody will know everything. Nobody will know everything. But when it comes to school, this poses a challenge. It is our nature, it is the nature of our brain to be aligned towards a certain line or a field of study. But what about the other areas of learning? What are we going to do to them? What about the other subjects? Are we going to fail because we can only love one subject? No. This kind of polarization will make you feel that, oh no, I just want to study mathematics. I just want to do mathematics. I just want to do mathematics almost every time. Then, are you going to do mathematics because your mode is mathematics? No, you're not going to do that. You are actually going to find means to balance and even to fight against this polarization so that you may rescue your results, so that you may not be just an exam and doing something which you will never benefit out of it. Because mathematics alone will not make you get good grades. You have to balance mathematics and other areas, not mathematics alone. Sorry, i'm trying to I'm trying to do something. Yeah, okay. So you'll find that planning solves these problems. Planning brings clarity, planning brings control, and it also brings confidence. When you plan your revision, you stop reacting, you start leading. When you plan your revision, you become an architect of your own success. Then you'll realize that it is not just preparation for exams, it is protection. Protection against chaotic revision, protection against poor results, protection against burnout, protection against everything.